Ladies and gentlemen, feel free and find your seats. It is so good to be with you this evening. Clovis Unified's Night of Champions and Athletic Hall of Fame. My name is Kevin Miller, and it is a privilege to join with you as we celebrate CUSD's athletic prowess then and now. Are we excited? Of course we are. We must know that if we see our favorite people, we can put our hands together, we can make some noise, and we can show our appreciation. Can't we? So we're here, but we are missing some folks, some very important people. That would be our Hall of Fame inductees for the class of 2023. Shall we bring them out, y'all? Well then, representing Clovis Unified School District, the winner of the Doc Buchanan Award, and our first inductee, please welcome Dr. Carlo Prandini. So, two Coach Prandinis is too confusing for junior high students. So as the Clark track staff looked to distinguish Coach Mark Prandini and father Coach Carlo Prandini, they determined that Carlo would be known as OG, as in the original, the OG. Coaches and kids proceeded to call him OG. Ironically, for 2 weeks, Carlo thought this term of respect was actually short for old guy. What's in a name, right, Coach? Well, old guy, I mean OG, and for many of us, the Godfather. Congratulations to our Doc Buchanan Award and first inductee into the 2023 Hall of Fame, Dr. Carlo Prandini. Representing the pre-60s, 60s, and the 1970s from the Clovis High School, please welcome Jack Maddox. So Jack is a firm believer in listening to your elders, but back in his playing days, he faced a real dilemma. Back in the 60s, there was this fad that had yet to be proven called weightlifting. I don't know if you've heard of it. Jack was all in and hit the weights faithfully. However, a college coach told him emphatically that if he continued to lift weights, it would ruin his career. That weightlifting would be here today, but gone tomorrow. Well, Jack went from a 170-pound freshman to graduating at 225 and going on to play college ball at Fresno State. We'd say the Moose made a very sound business decision. Congratulations to 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Jack Maddox. Representing the 1980s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s from Clovis High School, James Patrick. So leave it to Rodney Balch to get into the head of newly hired baseball coach James Patrick back in 1988. Balch let Coach Patrick know that the reason why the Cougars hadn't won a Valley championship since 1946 was due to a witch's curse, and until that witch disappeared like in The Wizard of Oz, he and his team would never win a title. Happy Halloween, by the way. Fast forward to 1995, and the year Coach Patrick and Clovis High finally won the Valley title. Legend has it that behind the CHS dugout, one could hear Coach Balch saying, "She's melting." Congratulations to 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, James Patrick. Representing the 1990s from Clovis High School, please welcome Chad McCarty. Back in the day, we used to get a grade for penmanship, legible handwriting. Y'all remember that? Perhaps that expectation would have saved Chad from this relatively permanent misunderstanding. After Chad and his teammates won the Valley Championship in soccer his senior year, it was time to order them rings and fill out their info on the card. Chad admits that his handwriting was a bit sloppy, but never expected to see engraved C-H-A-P McCarty, Chap McCarty on his championship ring. Permanent. And it was fodder for his teammates, so much joy, who proceeded to call him Chappie forevermore. The origin of nicknames. Well, hey, Chad, we've got it engraved correctly. Congratulations, Hall of Famer Chad McCarty. Representing the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s from Clovis High School, please welcome Stephen Terapelli. Oh my goodness. An early standing O. We love it. So let's be honest. We're not sure what Coach Terapelli is known for more. His pervasiveness and success in wrestling or his iconic fanny pack. Coach, are you wearing it? They told you not to? Well, for Steve, fanny packs never went out of style. But Coach, the question on everyone's mind tonight is what's in the pack? Is it all right if I reveal? So ladies and gentlemen, this is trailblazing news. You are about to hear the contents of the fanny pack include, but are not limited to, antibiotic salve, ibuprofen, his wallet, gum, and bag balm. What is bag balm, you ask? Well, bag balm is a type of ointment that can only be gotten at feed stores and made to treat cow udders. Inquiring minds wanted to know, and now you know. Congratulations to 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Stephen Terapelli. Representing the 2000s from Buchanan High School, please welcome Hall of Famer Jason Donald. So not sure if you know this, kids, but Jason, Dad, was and still is a fiery competitor. I know that's shocking. He's may have gotten into a few with a few players dating back to his days in elementary school where he despised one Jeff Prieto. Later, they became teammates. Brother Brett, that too. All the Prietos, it was trouble, right? And at Alta, in order for there to be peace between them, their parents had to make up this story that there was a special football practice that they set up between them just so the two of them had a means of intervention. Fast forward later in high school, after getting tackled by Jason Sadoyan, Jason Donald promised to, quote, end Sadoyan. You interpret that as you will. As Sadoyan later walked with his parents during senior night, Jason Donald admits hollering at him so much he may have ruined his experience. And now, Brett, Jason, and Jason are best friends, right? So what have we learned? If you ever have a misunderstanding with Jason, there's a very good chance you're going to become the best of friends. Our friend, Hall of Famer, Jason Donald. And now, one of our two team inductees. Please welcome the 1974, 1975, 1976, and 1978 Clovis High School girls tennis teams. So often, our Hall of Fame presentation serves as a form of confession for missteps in the past, primarily because of statute of limitations. There's such a thing. With that, these young ladies have some things they'd like to atone for, like putting the juniors in the trunk of Colette's orange and white Pinto during lunch so they could get off campus with the seniors in order to partake in Wendy's. That's seniors only privilege, okay? Also, sneaking in several players in the same trunk so that they could all get into the drive-in and not have to pay for multiple cars. That's cost effective, that's wise. And they'd like to apologize to all the boys that they liked back in high school, because if they liked you, your house got TP'd. Ladies, you feel better? This house is cleared. Once again, congratulations, 2023 Hall of Fame team inductees, members of the 74, 75, 76, 78 Clovis High School girls tennis teams. And last but certainly not least, our second team inductee, the 1991 Clovis High School football team, led by head coach Tim Simons. So a bit of a pseudo spoiler alert. You are going to see a captivating clip this evening regarding the 1991 championship thriller. Right before the deciding kick, a timeout was called in hopes of icing J.C. Cordero. Dutifully, yes, Coach Jack Erdman ran out to J.C. and the team. He was tasked to have that word of wisdom to carry them through. As Coach Erdman approached, the team emphatically told him, "Coach, you're too nervous. Get out of here." Coach did an about face, and the rest is history. Congratulations to the 2023 Hall of Fame team inductees, the members of the 1991 Clovis High School football team, led by head coach Tim Simons. So do we all know our Hall of Fame inductees just a little bit better now? Oh, we can't wait for more festivities. And now we turn our attention to the present, and we celebrate our Night of Champions. As you can see, Clovis Unified had an incredible 2022-23 year in athletics. Clovis Unified ended up winning all 24 of 24 track conference championships, 18 CIF section championships, 2 regional championships, 2 team CIF state championships, had 7 individual state champions. Also, for the first time ever, Clovis Unified had co-supremacy award winners. Buchanan High School and Clovis West High School tied as the most successful school in supremacy points. Lastly, Buchanan was recognized as Cal High Sports Athletic School of the Year, runner-up for the second year in a row, and Clovis West High School was Cal High Sports Athletic School of the Year, honorable mention. Incredible, is it not? So now, please welcome our Clovis Unified School District 2022-23 CIF section champions, regional champions, and state champions. Our first director of sport that we would like to recognize from the 2022-23 season is girls cross country, Buchanan High School head coach Brian Weaver. Girls water polo, Clovis West High School head coach Mary Brooks. Boys water polo, Clovis West High School head coach Taylor Heckathorn. Gymnastics, Clovis West High School head coach Megan Hergenrother. Girls tennis, Clovis East High School head coach Adrian Sanchez. Girls volleyball, Buchanan High School head coach John Jay. Girls volleyball, Clovis North High School head coach Lauren Winslow. Cheer, Clovis North High School, representing head coach Devin Balbach is activities director Miranda Rudolph. Dance, Clovis High School assistant coach Lourdes Orozco. Dance, Clovis West High School, representing head coach Michelle Catone is activities director Kelsey Ostrander. Girls basketball, Clovis West High School head coach Craig Campbell. Wrestling, 7 consecutive state champions, Buchanan High School, representing head coach Troy Tirapelli is athletic director Corey Anderson. Girls soccer, Clovis North High School, head coach Nick Papandouris. Boys soccer, Clovis North High School, head coach Cameron Cherokee. Badminton, Clovis East High School, representing head coach Janine Soderson is Assistant Athletic Director Jeff Vogt. Boys swim and dive, Clovis North High School, head coach Peter Fecht. Girls swim and dive, Clovis West High School, representing coach Adam Reed is boys director of sport for swim and dive Chandler Tenney. Boys volleyball, Clovis East High School, head coach Marcos Orro. Girls track and field, Buchanan High School, head coach Brian Weaver. And boys track and field, Buchanan High School, head coach Brian Weaver. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for our 2022-23 CIF champions? At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to present the Supremacy Award. Please welcome to the stage our superintendent, Dr. Corinne Fulmer. Our Supremacy Award is the award that goes to the high school with the most success in regard to conference, section, and state championships for the year. For the 2022-23 school year, Buchanan High School and Clovis West tied for the Supremacy Award. First recognized will be Buchanan High School. As you can see, Buchanan won 7 track conference championships, 5 CIF section championships, had 2 individual CIF state champions, and 2 team CIF state championships. What an incredible season in a very challenging year, and we are very proud of their accomplishments. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our 2022-23 Supremacy Award Directors of Sport from Buchanan High School. First, football, head coach Ross Wood. Boys water polo and boys swimming, head coach Nick Mays. Girls water polo and girls swimming, head coach Garrett Pickford. Girls and boys golf, head coach Stephen Kidd. Pep and cheer, head coach Shannon Donald. Gymnastics, head coach Amy Giacomini. Boys basketball, assistant coach Jalen Abney. Girls basketball, representing head coach Adam Wall, is assistant athletic director Jennifer O'Meara. Girls soccer, head coach Jasara Gillette. Badminton, head coach Benny Azali. Baseball, head coach Troy Gloss. Softball, assistant coach Philip Hall. Boys and girls tennis, head coach Molly Amico. Boys and girls cross country and boys and girls track and field, head coach Brian Weaver. Girls and boys volleyball, head coach John Jay. Athletic director Corey Anderson. And principal of Buchanan High School, Omar Hamiden. All right, let's put our hands together one more time for Supremacy Award winner, Buchanan High School, the Bears. Next, we will recognize Clovis West High School for winning Supremacy as well. As you can see, Clovis West won 7 track conference championships, 5 CIF section championships, and had 1 individual CIF state champion. What an incredible season for the Golden Eagles, and we are very proud of their accomplishments. Let's give it up, Golden Eagles. And now would you please welcome to the stage our 2022-23 Supremacy Award Directors of Sport from Clovis West High School. For football, head coach Eric Brown. Girls volleyball, head coach Rhonda DeRuiter. Boys and girls cross country and boys and girls track and field, head coach Martine Pallavicini. Boys and girls golf, head coach Jason Simonetti. Boys and girls tennis, head coach Neil Castro. Boys basketball, head coach Vance Wahlberg. Boys soccer, representing head coach Yvonne Johnson's, his assistant athletic director, Mike Vogt. Girls soccer, head coach Jeremy Tarkin. Wrestling, head coach Kyle Gilchrist. Baseball, head coach Kevin Patrick. Softball, head coach Joe Lee. Boys volleyball, head coach Greg White. Badminton, head coach Maddie Dinsdale. Boys water polo, head coach Taylor Heckathorn. Girls water polo, head coach Mary Brooks. Gymnastics, head coach Megan Hergenrother. Pep and Cheer, representing head coach Michelle Catone, is activities director Kelsey Ostrander. Girls basketball, head coach Craig Campbell. Boys swimming, head coach Chandler Tenney. Athletic director Matt Loggins. And principal of Buchanan, Clovis West High School, the Golden Eagles, the man, the myth, the legend, Eric Swain. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for the Golden Eagles Co-Supremacy Award winners from Clovis West High School. C-Dub in the house. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 1 of our Night of Champions. And we will get to move into our Hall of Fame festivities. But of course, we want to welcome back to the stage our superintendent and also a Hall of Famer herself. Please welcome back Dr. Corinne Fulmer.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Kevin. Let's hear it one more time for all our fantastic CIF champions and our Clovis Unified Athletic Co-Supremacy Award winners, Buchanan High School and Clovis West High School. What an exciting evening this is, our 7th year honoring outstanding inductees into our Clovis Unified District Athletic Hall of Fame. A special thanks to the work of Dr. Janet Young, Dr. Carlo Prandini, one of our inductees tonight, Mr. Steve France, and a host of others who brought our Athletic Hall of Fame to fruition. Tonight's event is a tribute to our founding superintendent, Dr. Floyd B. Buchanan, fondly known as Doc. It's Doc's incredible vision, educational genius, high expectations, and strong core values that created the very culture of Clovis Unified that we follow today and has made us one of the best school districts in the nation. I love this event for many reasons, one of which is because I feel comfortable as a lifelong athlete and former coach, but also because it emphasizes the power of teamwork and relationships. One of Doc's favorite sayings is that education revolves around teamwork and trust. In meeting the honorees yesterday, that sentiment was repeated, and I think you will hear it tonight in the videos and interviews as they recall the trust they had in their coaches and the teams in which they were part of. In fact, when I think of the coaches who poured into me during my athletic career in Clovis Unified, I'm often left speechless. These are people who not only made me a better athlete, but a better human being. Doc carefully and intentionally laid a foundation in Clovis Unified that promoted winning with class and losing with dignity, that exemplified character and excellence, and that recognized the value of competition against oneself, against a standard, and while being part of a team. The honorees tonight embody all that Doc envisioned for our co-curricular programs and student athletes. Our educational team and our governing board continue to own the visionary legacy set by Doc Buchanan and our district's founding governing board members. Today, our governing board members devote their time and talents to serve and represent a community that continues to recognize the importance of persevering that legacy of excellence gifted to us over 6 decades ago. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Clovis Unified School District governing board members in attendance this evening. If you'll hold your applause. Vice President Hugh Autry, Member Yolanda Moore, and Member Tiffany Stoker Madsen. Please join me in giving them a well-earned round of applause. Speaking of high standards and teamwork, an event of this caliber takes the hard work, dedication, and passion of a cast of many. So before we kick off this marvelous event, let me take a moment to thank the Hall of Fame committee chaired by Mr. Steve France, who have put countless hours of work into preparing for tonight's event. At Steve's side every step of the way for the past several months have been an incredible organizing team who deserve to be announced individually. Matt Mikolovich, Jeanette Garcia, Donna Marr, Norm Anderson, Dr. Mark Hammock, Kelly Avance, and the CUSD communications team. In addition, we thank the amazing crew here at the Performing Arts Center, led by Vincent Keenan and Jennifer Malatesta, along with our outstanding plant operations team who have attended to every detail so that our ceremony this evening is first class. We would also like to thank Ellipsis Productions for their inspiring videos, which you will get to see, and we know you will enjoy. ProScreen for the design and printing of all of our wonderful programs that you have, the banners which were beautifully showcase our inductees, and Kendra Burt for creating a beautiful display of the inductees' memorabilia in the lobby. And a special thank you to Kenny Gilman, our district photographer, for capturing the special moments that will provide us all memories of the weekend's events. Also, thank you to Kevin Miller for presenting our Red Carpet Night of Champions. And lastly, a huge word of thanks to Mr. Bob Barnett, whose years of service as the statistician and gatekeeper of all prep athletic records in the Central Section have been invaluable as we have compiled the amazing accomplishments of our inductees this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in acknowledging this dedicated team who have planned this memorable ceremony with a round of applause. It truly is a joy to celebrate and honor our inductees tonight. They have not only left a lasting impression on the history of Clovis Unified, but will continue to inspire generations to come. They are models of hard work, dedication, and character. I would also like to thank all of the families, friends, teammates, coaches, and teachers that are here tonight that have supported our inductees. With all of that, let's give a warm welcome to our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. George Takata.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Fulmer, class of 2018, for this illustrious Hall of Fame. I think Buchanan cross country. We won't give the year away, but it wasn't long ago. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to continue to fulfill my lifetime contract with the district to MC this prestigious event. It's kind of like a reunion for me to come back and talk to the men and women who I covered actually and interviewed throughout my television career back in the day. So it is always a great time and an occasion that is always very special to me. So thank you to the committee and everybody associated with the Hall of Fame. So please take a look at the screen to introduce Clovis Unified's first 2023 inductee into the Clovis Unified Athletic Hall of Fame. Our first inductee tonight has been awarded the prestigious Doc Buchanan Award, named after our founding superintendent, Dr. Floyd Doc Buchanan. Representing Clovis Unified School District, Dr. Carlo Prandini.
Athletics were always a big part of my life, and it probably is what spurred me to go into education because of the coaching aspect of it. My first full-time job was at Clovis High School, teaching physical education, coaching cross-country and track. I think we had a reputation after a few years of being a real strong program for track and field, and cross-country. We amped it up and won a couple valleys, boys, girls. So I think through the 80s, which is when I coached, we had a pretty darn good program.
He surrounded himself with other good coaches. Whether you were in the throws or the jumps or the sprints or the distances, you had a very high quality coach that you could work with. And so maybe that's the beginnings of his genius as a head coach, and then leading those athletes to be the best they could be.
He's about as good of a track coach as you can find, honestly, at any level, even collegiate or professional. Latrice Johnson was one of his athletes. She was the national record holder at Clovis High.
He never said, I don't have time, or I can't come get you, or maybe not today. It was like, Latrice, if you're willing to be there, I'll come and get you.
All the things that I learned as a track coach, trying to develop a great culture on your team, have good systems. That's the same thing you do as an administrator, just affect more. For the AD, you're trying to affect all the sports. As a principal, the whole school. As a superintendent, the whole area. The next 20 years of my career was in various roles as a site administrator and then to the district office.
He really valued relationships in each of those positions he was in. He could get people to do things and work hard and overachieve in a fashion that you kind of think of as a coach. I think in all of his roles, he was a coach.
I talked to kids on what kids want, and I did that as a site principal too. One of my favorite things to do is just wander around and talk to people, ask how it's going, how's this working, what do you think we need? And so I try to take all of that, formal learning, informal listening, years of experience, and build a school and hire the people that I trusted.
So when Carlo went out to establish the Clovis North area, he fought really hard to attract the best people possible, whether it was in the district or outside the district. Not too many people get that opportunity to create a new area, and Carlo did a great job doing that. And while he was doing that, he also got the opportunity to bring the state track and field championships to Clovis. It's been very beneficial to our own student athletes because when they can compete on the same facility that they're going to have to compete on the highest stage in the state, that's a real advantage.
Him bringing the state meet here and creating that environment, I think, is a big reason why all these schools have had that much success. He was able to create a structure and a system that got kids to believe in themselves, and so Clovis Unified kids have done unbelievably well in the last, however long it's been, 15 years.
I feel very good that what Doc started back in 1960, and I helped continue for several years, almost 40 years, was able to help my kids, help my wife and I raise our kids, because I couldn't have done anything without Teresa and my family support. And now it's being passed on to my grandkids. And I'm helping here at Clark because of the kids, because of my love of track. And I even tell them, you're going to fail, and don't let that bother you. And in life, you have to learn to pick yourself up. That maybe is the best lesson they can learn, is that the keys to success are to show up every day, do the very best every day, be persistent, and when things aren't going right, battle through that a little bit, and that's the way it is in life.
I remember in one of my races I did fall, and I did get up, but I was crying, but he was there to comfort me like a good coach. He told me it was all right, and all the good hurdlers fall at one point.
When I really feel like I'm not gonna do good on this test, or I just can't get through the day, like, I can do it, and his voice is always in the back of my mind, and it reassures me.
He has confidence in what he's saying. He knows what he's talking about, and he's just really good with demonstrating it and being hands-on.
And he's just an amazing track coach and leads people to their successes. Every time I say hi to him, he always gives me a hug. Tink, you ready to work today? I'm like, yes.
Carlo is one of the founding folks that have put Clovis Unified School District on the map in athletics and followed Doc's charge.
He would always give you the tools to do your job to the best of your ability. If you needed corrections, wasn't afraid to give you corrections and help you to become a better person.
Carlo, I think, has helped Clovis Unified progress and change during the career that he's had in Clovis Unified School District and now afterwards as a volunteer. And I think that's what Doc stood for. And I don't know that there's anybody more deserving than Carlo Prandini.
Clovis Unified School District would like to honor as their first 2023 inductee to the Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame and our Doc Buchanan Award, Dr. Carlo Prandini, escorted by Boys Basketball Track Co-Player of the Year from Clovis North High School, Jordan Espinoza, and Girls Water Polo Track Outstanding Performer of the Year from Clovis High School, Claire Minton. Prandini, welcome to the Tonight Show. What did it mean for you, first of all, to see those kids talk about you?
Well, it's all very moving, very humbling. And the whole reason anyone in education is because of the kids. It sometimes seems like a cliche, but that's what gets you, at least that's what got me up every day. Go out there and try to make a difference.
Can you share what the Doc Buchanan Award means to you?
Well, it's an award I never even considered that I would get. It's Doc was an incredible guy, and I had the good fortune of knowing him. And when I was 25 years old, I still can remember the interview. It was the first time I ever met Doc. And I remember he asked me, okay, Carlo, what can I expect my track team is going to look like? Because he took ownership in all the sports. And so I rambled on about how we're going to get a lot of kids out there. We're going to work hard. You can come out and see our practices, and we're going to compete, and we're going to pull together. Used to tell the track team at the very first day, who knows who's going to be the best team, but we're definitely going to be the hardest working and have the best attitude. And so Doc kind of liked my answer. And he said, I said, so if a kid comes on my team, our team, we're going to make sure that he's going to be or she's going to be the very best they can be. If that means they're going to get to go to league and maybe place at league or go to valleys, win a valley, go to state or be an Olympian. And Doc really liked that, and he took off with that. Because Doc was no child left behind before there was no child left behind. He was in it for all kids. And he said there, and he said it multiple times, he said, I don't care where any kid grows up or what neighborhood he or she comes from. They're going to have opportunities in Clovis Unified. And if that means going to the Ivy League school or going to City College or whatever works for them, they're going to be the very best academically they can be. And they could also go and sing in Carnegie Hall if they wanted to, or march in the Macy's Day Parade. And we've done all those, the district has done all those things. And so he had such a tremendous vision, and I'm glad that I'm being considered for this award.
Considered, you have it.
Okay. Well, I'm not done yet, so they could take it away from me. But.
I doubt that. With so many decades of service, do you have a fond memory or anything that just sticks out from all the other wonderful moments that you've had with the district?
Well, there's a whole lot of memories, and you'll probably see a couple of them tonight with the baseball championship or the football championship. And usually at those events, I was an administrator trying to keep the kids off the field, and I didn't succeed very well, as you'll see in the videos. But all the championships that my teams won or that we were able to witness over the years, and at multiple schools, because I was at Alta and then I was at West, and then we started North. I used to love graduations. And there was a lot of work, and there's probably people out there saying, what are you talking about? Those graduations are a lot of work. But I always thought a graduation was a chance to honor the kids and to also say thank you to the parents and the community and their grandparents and their families. And it was such a good event. And I remember in 1998, we wanted to bring a live cougar to the Clovis High graduation. And you guys remember Dave Banzer. A lot of you remember we lost him a couple of years ago. But Dave, I said, because he's a hunter and he knows, I said, Dave, we want a cougar at the graduation. And he said, I know a guy. And if you know Dave, he knew a guy, and he found some guys up in the high desert that trained cougars for the Hollywood or whatever. And so we got him there and set him on the victory stand. But that was such a memorable occasion. It was just one of many graduations that I thought were very special. And in the video, they talked about the state meet. And getting the state meet here is an example of what the school district can do to when they put their mind to it. Because Terry Bradley came and said, Carlo, how can we get this state meet here? Because we had been talking about it. And so it was a combination of the governing board supporting Terry, and then Terry, of course, finagling how to get money to improve the facility over at Buchanan, because the CIF needed the facility upgrade. And then you knew Brian Weaver was running the state cross-country meet, which we started years ago. And so all of that kind of came together. And when the CIF came to visit the place, we didn't limit it to just seeing the track. We had to meet the grounds guys, and we had to meet the chief of police and the mayor of Clovis and the maintenance department, and all the things that makes the school work and the school district work, and the people. And so the state meet is an example, and Dan Kaiser told me, he says, ever since the old Clovis week kind of went away when we were just Clovis High, Clovis West, we haven't done something that the whole district gets behind. And so getting the state meet here, and then the success that we have had and our kids have had over the years has been very rewarding, and it's an example of what a district can do. This district can do when it puts its mind to it.
And finally, who would you like to thank that joined you here this evening?
Well, there's a whole lot of people out here to thank, and number one, I have to thank my wife, Teresa. You saw her up there. But without her and her support over the years, and when I retired and I spent more time around the house and saw all the things that had to be done without me before, you start realizing who raised these kids because I wasn't around as much as I should have. So Teresa, thank you so very much for all your support. And my pop, he's 92 years old. He made it here today. His example, I think maybe the work ethic and the passion for his kids. He raised 6 of us. His wife, my mom, passed away when I was 15. I was the oldest of 6. So he had some help from my grandma, my Nona, but Pop's always been there. And then I should say thank you to my 3 kids, inspiration for me over the years, Christine, Mark, and Jenna. They're the pride, and now we've got some grandkids, and there's some old friends out there that I couldn't be here without them, and so I need to thank them first and foremost, and then my pals.
Awesome. Well, it's been great to watch your career on this video and encapsulate it here at this moment, and just congratulations, Dr. Brandini, and welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, George.
Dr. Carlo Brandini. Safe to say he has a future Hall of Famer in the audience supporting him today. Our next individual inductee is Jack Maddox from Clovis High School.
I played basketball, and I was on the track team. In fact, I broke Dwight Bianchi's discus record through 162.10 or something. And that record stuck for about 20-some years. We lived on a ranch out in Clovis. When I got to Clovis High, I'd never seen a high school football game, tackle game before. And I remember coming out of the locker room, going out to my first game, and so I played in that game, then I stayed to watch the varsity, and those were the 2 first football games I'd ever seen. They wanted to find out how tough you were. That was the nutshell of being a Cougar lineman. That stuck with me. For all the years of my coaching, I said, I'm never gonna go out in the field and bore kids, and I'm not gonna go out and not have fun.
Everybody called him Moose Maddox. When he'd tackle a guy, he'd reach down, pick him up, pat him on the butt and say, hey, good job, I'll get you next time you come around. He knew how to tackle, he knew how to block. If you know the right technique, you can whip a guy a lot bigger than you. Jack knew that.
Fresno State was really a good experience for me. My freshman year, I kind of found out that I had to learn some things, but I ended up by my sophomore year being able to break into the lineup, and by my senior year, I made all-conference team. And one of my friends, Billy Waite, came from Fresno High. He and I were team captains, and it was really a good year. I think we went 7-3 that year. The inaugural year of the Dallas Cowboys was 1960, and I was informed that I was going to be a free agent selection. There were only 3 rookies that made it that first year. I was with them in training camp, and then before the preseason game started, I was released and contacted by the Broncos. And so they signed me, and I went to the Broncos the fall of 1961. I played there for 2 full years and part of another. I had a career-ending knee injury. I went to Citrus College for 2 years, and boom, I got hired by City College. 1966, our goal was to get in the playoffs. 1969, we won the state, and then we won it again in 1972, and we tied in 1973.
He's always very innovative. We were out of town, I think we were in San Mateo for one of the playoff games, and a teammate and I were having dinner at one of the restaurants there. He just happens to come up and sit down and says, I got an idea. He starts drawing the plays on this cloth napkin. The game's tomorrow, Coach. We're going to put this in, tomorrow afternoon before we play. He goes, well, yeah, I think we can do this. I think we can do this. Yeah, that's the type of person he was. He's very innovative, intense, always thinking football.
What I loved most about coaching is the relationships I developed with the guys that helped us be who we were. You can only be as successful as the effort you put into it. You have God-given gifts, but then you have developmental gifts, and those are the ones that we always relied on, that we can help you become the best you can be.
There's no better offensive line coach than Jack. He just was a good communicator. He was able to cross the line of being not just a coach, but he made you feel like you were important to what was going on there.
Jack's just a wonderful, wonderful man, and I'm proud to call him my friend.
Please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Jack Maddox from Clovis High School, and he is escorted by girls swim and dive CIF section champion from Clovis West, Hannah Marinovich. Pleasure to see you again, Coach. And so, what did Clovis Unified, and specifically Clovis High, do for you to make you who you are today or who you were during your career?
Well, I had such a great experience at Clovis High. Somewhere in my high school career, I decided that's what I want to do. I want to be a teacher and a coach. And I worked real hard and got there.
You worked real hard in the weight room. Those forearms in that photo of you are very impressive.
Just doing what I wanted to do.
What could you bench? What was your top bench?
Oh, 300.
300. Nice. So it must mean a lot to you to be a Clovis Cougar. And can you discuss your experience there, specifically in your 4-year high school career?
It was a great experience. Our senior year, we finally put together a really good team, and under Coach Lloyd Least, and it came down to between Clovis and Sanger, and the game was tied. Our quarterback went back to throw, and Bill Heron from Sanger knocks the ball down, picks it up, and runs it in the end zone. We thought it was an incomplete pass, but officials thought differently, that it was a fumble. But that's how close we were to winning the league that year, and my experience there was just tremendous. What really reinforces your experience, or what other people thought of you, after the fact. I was at my 60th reunion, and half of them were dead, and the other half looked like they ought to be. And
I'm not even going to touch that, Coach.
And this guy came over to me, and he married a Clovis girl. He was from Sanger, and he came over and says, "Are you Jack Maddox?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "Well, I played against you in 1956. I'm from Sanger. what a game. And he said, Coach Ray Newman, he was well known at the time, Coach Ray Newman told us before the game that Clovis has this guy named Jack Maddox. And every Friday, they let him out of jail so he can play football. And that's a true story. So it's what other people think of you, that counts. And
the good thing about... reconsider your induction.
Pardon me?
Maybe we have to reconsider it.
Well, maybe. The best thing about being the biggest guy on campus, you never get in any fights.
It's true. They don't mess with you. Not at all. Who in the audience would you like to thank tonight?
I'd like to especially thank my wife, Carol. At one point, we were married for 26 years. We'd only been together 13. Because football, you're gone half a day every day.
Yeah.
That's 27 years of it, and she, oh my gosh, she put up with not being there, and she went to every game, every after-game party. Of course, I heard about it all the next day.
Those after parties can get you.
That's right. That's the way it goes.
Well, Coach, congratulations. It's great to see you and celebrate your success, and welcome to the Clovis Unified Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you much.
Jack Maddox. You ever meet someone you just wish you could talk to all night? Multiple stories on and on and on? Find out where he's going after this. Our next individual inductee is James Patrick from Clovis High School.
First year of coaching was 1979. I coached football at Kerman High School. Our record was 1 win, 9 losses, and 1 tie, and I loved it. I was hooked. By the time I got here, football was in pretty good shape. They were winning championship. Our wrestling team was off the charts, winning championships, and we'd won a basketball championship. Hadn't won anything in baseball, and I think that was Doc's, last big goal that he wanted in athletics. He wanted to see Clovis Unified Baseball have some success, and the youth leagues started becoming a little more organized, and Dr. Buchanan started elementary baseball. So all kids would have a chance to play. That contributed to the foundation of our program, and certainly we took great pride in trying to recruit kids from our area. For the most part, we're pretty much what we called homegrown Clovis High baseball players.
I remember Coach P going, we were playing a game at Bicentennial Park, and he showed up there. We were playing a regional game or something. What's the coach of Clovis High doing at our game? And he knows our names?
The Fresno schools, when I started coaching here, and they were excellent in baseball. But we ended up catching up to them. And once we did, we'd never looked back.
I got to grow up at the ballpark. I came to practice, got to hang out in the dugout during the games, and just kind of see this thing grow over the years. I had the opportunity to, go to his youth camps and see how those kids look forward to getting here when they, play at the high school level.
Our 1995 team, when they were in junior high, they didn't lose a game. We knew they were going to be good and competitive, and we made up T-shirts before that season, and on the T-shirt it said, "The drought stops here." 1995 Clovis High baseball. I'll never forget the feeling that we all had when the last pitch was thrown and the kids were celebrating, seeing the smiles on their face and being able to enjoy that with that group of players. That was a tremendous feeling. And, obviously that team set the tone and the standard for, the teams that followed.
I think the crazy thing was when Coach P goes to all the camps when you're a little kid, he said at some point there will be a team that's #1 in the nation coming from Clovis High.
At elementary age, we'd tell them, sooner or later, Clovis High is going to finish the year ranked #1 in the nation. And I would always tell them, I just hope I'm here when that happens. And lo and behold, in '97, we had a group of kids that were just fierce competitors. And a lot of those kids were underclassmen, so they ended up playing in '98 also. And both of those teams ended up ranked #1 at the end of the season, and what an accomplishment.
It was an amazing run, really, but I think it's kind of been unprecedented if you look throughout the years. They won in 95, my brother's year. They made it to the finals, but they lost to a good Madera team in 96. And then 97, 98, we're national champions. So, I mean, that was close to being 4 in a row. And, that's pretty unheard of.
For me, more than anything, it was for every kid to realize their potential and for every team to realize its potential. Those things were important to me. And, even in years where you didn't win championships, if you turned your gear in at the end of the year and you were sad that you had to turn your gear in, that was a good season. Some teams didn't have great starts, or they might have had a slump in the middle of the season, but I never, ever quit on a team. I always believed that if we could play our best at the end of the year, we had a chance.
He got the most out of the bottom half of their lineup, and they always played well in big games. They'd always have a guy that you wouldn't expect to come up big. Coach P's, he's one of the best for a reason.
Not too many people have the longevity that he put in at this. Those are records that speak for themselves and probably are going to have a hard time getting beat. But beyond that, being a great coach, he's a Hall of Fame person.
I think he's the guy that, for a lot of guys, a father figure, a role model.
Everything he ever told me, I believed, and I never wanted to disappoint him. I never wanted to disappoint the program, and I always wanted to give my best.
He's the best. A lot of people might try to imitate him, but I don't know if there'll ever be another that's quite like him. And I'm just really proud of everything that he's accomplished. And you get what you work for, and he worked really hard and put a lot of time in, and so he's definitely very deserving.
Please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame inductee James Patrick from Clovis High School, escorted by Girls Water Polo Track Outstanding Performer of the Year from Clovis High, Claire Minton, and Boys Golfer of the Year from Clovis North, Finn McCall. I remember one of those. I think that video was ours, Channel 47. We went live at 5 o'clock. I think it was 98 when I was there. And it was so much fun to cover that and do it live. And my voice cracking, I remember that much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I think you noticed on that dog pile,
Yeah.
Carlo kind of alluded to that earlier. Somehow the kids had snuck around, the students had snuck around to the opposite Clovis West dugout, and they entered the field from over there to get in the middle of the dog pile. Anyway, good story.
So first question, which of your sons was your favorite player? Never mind.
I will say this. Both Kevin and Chris were fortunate enough to play Division I baseball on a scholarship, so they saved us a lot of money. So
Good.
they are both my favorite.
There you go. A tie. I knew it. So what does it mean to be selected into this Hall of Fame tonight?
Look at this class. It's amazing. I just wanted to coach. That for me, I don't know what else I would have done professionally that I would have been good at, but, when you look back over the length of your career, you have so many memories, of kids doing great things, of coaches doing great things, people you work with, and so it's kind of a culmination of all those things, and, to be a part of this particular class is pretty overwhelming when you see the great athletes that are coming through, and coaches and football teams and tennis teams.
What, in your opinion, makes this district so special?
Well, it was a privilege to work for Clovis Unified and to be hired, as Carlo mentioned, by Doc Buchanan. I could go on and on of stories, but I'll tell a couple. This is a great Doc story. So there were two high schools when I came here, Clovis and Clovis West, and he really did want the best for kids. And Carlo was our athletic director, I believe, at the time, and we went over to visit Doc, and we wanted to build a new batting cage and have AstroTurf in the batting cage so we could work out when the weather was a little bit wet and our guys could get extra work in. Anyway, we're talking to Doc and telling him what we want to do, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Okay, Patrick, give me your philosophy on hitting. And I swear, this is the God's honest truth. I had just read a book on Ted Williams and the theory of hitting by Ted Williams. And so I kind of mentioned some things about Ted Williams in this book. And I didn't know it, but Ted Williams was Doc's idol. And this would probably not happen today, but after meeting with Doc, the very next day I go back to school and there's a crew out at our baseball field and they're excavating the grounds and getting ready to build the batting cage. Amazing. I mean, it was amazing. One other story, you know, and Clovis Unified is special, still is special. If you looked at all the champions that were listed, I mean, I don't think we should apologize for winning, that's the goal. But I think more than anything, it's the opportunities the kids have in Clovis that really makes our district special. And not just athletics, you know, all co-curricular activities. And that was really, for me, that was, you know, I'm honored that I was able to take a part in what Doc's vision was, that co-curricular activities and athletics were an important part of educating kids. And so one more story about how special Clovis Unified is. So I wasn't from Clovis. I taught at San Joaquin Memorial before I came here, so I knew of some of the stories of Clovis, but I certainly didn't know everything. And luckily, I had guys like Tim Simons, who I taught PE with. He'd clue me into what I needed to know about Clovis Unified. But anyway, I'm a JV football coach. My first year in Clovis, JV football coach, and I'm on the sidelines, and we played Clovis West, and obviously 2 schools in Clovis. That was a big rivalry. In those days, a super big rivalry. So we go out, and it's halftime. We go in. I think we were ahead 14-7, and this is no kidding. When we come out from halftime, our stands are completely full. Across the way, Clovis West has filled up the other side of La Monica Stadium. Eben's Brothers Band is playing, and it's loud. I can't even hear myself think. And anyway, I think we tied 14-14, which, if you knew Doc, one of his famous sayings was, "We're with you, win or tie." So we tied. So I go home, and I remember telling my wife, I don't know what I got myself into, but we tied. So, we're good to go.
That's great. And who in the audience would you like to thank this evening?
There was a lot of people I got to see tonight, but, first, my wife, Cece, and my family. You mentioned our 2 kids, their wives, Whitney and Jen, and our grandchildren are here tonight, Tyler, Allison, and Charlie. And, I really appreciate my family. My wife, coaching, there's really no time clock that you punch in. You coach, and sometimes it's long hours, and that's just the nature of this profession. And my wife was always had a home-cooked meal. She took care of the kids, ran them to every event that they were going to be, so she pretty much raised our children. And, I really appreciate it. I couldn't have done this, if I hadn't had that type of support, so thank you. And there's a lot of players that I had seen. In fact, one of my escorts, Finn McCall, I coached his dad, Brian, in the early 90s, but I saw a lot of players that I hadn't seen, and I'm so appreciative of having the opportunity to work with them. My PE buddies, a good day in PE, Clovis High, you were going to laugh, might cry, probably talk about barbecuing, and Peter Tragic was going to pull some kind of prank on Tirapelli. So, it was really fun. We had a kind of a standing comment. We'd come in from class and everybody'd get in there and, we had a small little office for like 9 PE teachers. And, invariably, it was usually me, invariably somebody would say, "Can you believe we get paid for this?" So it was fun. My career was fun. I don't think I would write, any chapter of this part of my life any differently. And last, I do want to thank all the coaches that I've coached with, and one of them, George Chandler, who helped start our program way back in 1987. He's here tonight, and I appreciate all the hard work of the coaches that I had the opportunity to work with also.
Well, Coach, you earned every penny, and I want to take this time to thank you for always being so gracious with your time when I got a chance to interview those championship teams. And even though I went to Clovis West, I love covering those Clovis High championship teams. Had to swallow it a little bit, but I loved it, and I just appreciate you all.
Those kids were pretty good.
They were really good. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Coach James Patrick. Cannot be biased as a sportscaster, so I was all about those Cougars. Our next individual inductee is Chad McCarty, also from Clovis High School.
I started playing soccer when I was 6. My dad was the first head coach and my mom was the team mom. To my dad's credit, he taught us all the first trick. It was called a cap and reverse. I used that move throughout my entire career. Clovis didn't have a history of soccer excellence. A Valley Championship was, something that all of us were really striving for. And with Coach Howerton, we had somebody that we believed in and could organize the team. And
Clovis High, which had been good previous to that, for sure. Guys like, Jaime Ramirez certainly paved the way at one time, but it was lost somewhere along the way. Chad and his buddies were all in junior high when I first came, and that was just a loaded group of kids that could play soccer.
I remember he was playing in the midfield, gathering balls, right, tackling, getting in the mix, and then immediately coming out playing or recognizing space to penetrate on the dribble. Just nonstop, relentless. It was fun to watch.
Each year we got a little closer. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, we were knocking on the door, and because we had a lot of great players. Finally, our senior year, we were able to pull it all together, winning the first ever Valley Championship in front of our fans in this beautiful stadium. I'll never forget it. It's a memory that I'll always cherish.
You could feel it in the air, support for the team. That was a group of kids that all came up and bought into it, but they literally paved the way for all those kids that followed them. So he's a freshman in high school, and they're already calling him up to participate in regional and national camps and events.
I got identified by some scouts to play on the state team, and so I just kind of kept rolling from there and eventually making the U16 national team. Towards the end of my senior year in high school, after we graduated, I had some opportunities to go to school, and I ended up going up to University of Washington. Good program, young program, a lot of talent. At that time, my main goal was to stay with the national team and to make the Olympic team. We went into the bronze medal match, good game. Again, went to overtime. We ended up losing 1-0. So we took it as far as any U.S. team's ever gone. We went past that, and we ended up getting 4th place. Unfortunately, 4th place doesn't get you a medal, but it was a fantastic experience. And we exceeded all expectations, and I couldn't have been more proud to be the captain, to represent our country, to represent Fresno, to represent Clovis High. At the end of the day, it was a beautiful experience, but just a little short.
When the Olympics were over, a week or two later, he just came up to Clovis High into my classroom where I was teaching and asked if he could have a minute, and opened a gift bag and gave me a sweatsuit, his jersey, a poster, and a soccer ball that were both signed by the Olympic team. But more than that, he also then showed up to a couple of training sessions and would just show up and work with the high school kids a little bit and train with them and encourage them and, just giving back.
He generously offered tons of soccer shoes for our kids. He felt the need to support a Southeast Fresno community that he thought would be able to use those shoes.
I'd been a pro at that point for 3 or 4 years. Ended up winning the U.S. Open Cup as a champion. That's the oldest soccer tournament in the United States, and it's a great honor. We won that in 2001. Played a couple more years, and then my body just started breaking down. Decided to come home and look at the next phase of my life.
When I was coaching youth soccer and mentioning to our club, our boys, that, hey, Chad McCarty he's living the dream, and he worked for it. And I believe it also in some way propelled some of our guys, someone that you saw grow from the area, others can do it as well.
Clovis North was opening up, and they needed a soccer coach, and it felt like a good fit. And as the numbers grew, our quality grew, and we ended up competing in Division II of the Valley Championship, and we won that. And it was the first ever Valley Championship for boys soccer at Clovis North. And the next year we went up to, my final 2 years, we went up to Division I, and we were able to meet Clovis High in the finals. Unfortunately, they got us that particular night. But you know, everything I learned building Clovis North, I applied at Clovis Community, and so it was a notch progression. Competing against coaches that were paid soccer coaches for a living, so I got to test my skills against, you know, true professional coaches that have been doing it a long time. And
there's something special about him when it comes to soccer, that he just gets everybody to rise up a little bit more.
You know, I'm very grateful for Clovis Unified and all the co-curricular programs that they support. They definitely made a big impact in my life. Those young, impressionable years that I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Chad McCarty from Clovis High, escorted by girls wrestling state champion from Clovis East, Isabella Gonzalez. Welcome to the hot seat. And just your career, we saw it there, so decorated. Just what does it mean to represent the district and Clovis High School in this Athletic Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a tremendous honor. We all know, coming from Clovis Unified, we have high standards for ourselves. And looking around, the competition is fierce. So to represent the Cougars in the Hall of Fame is a tremendous honor. And to stand alongside my fellow inductees is a humbling experience. This achievement is a testament to a lot of hard work, dedication, and passion that I poured into my athletic career, but it was also a reflection of my teachers and my coaches and my teammates, all the guidance and support they provided me. So it's a tremendous honor, and I'm humbled by it.
And you love giving back. You did that, as stated in the video there. So what message do you have for the many that will follow you in athletics and coaching and even in leadership roles?
My message is to believe in the power of athletics and how they can transform lives. You know, to coaches, success is not always linear, and sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But to athletes and coaches, I encourage them to dream big and to set goals, lofty goals, and reach out and find mentors that can help you create a plan. Then commit yourself to the plan and embrace the journey. And the last thing is probably the most important, is just never give up. If you love it and if you care about it, keep fighting, even though it may not look like your initial plan. Maybe the next plan is even better.
I'm ready to run through a wall for you right now, man.
Thank you.
And who would you like to thank in the audience this evening?
Well, I have a lot of special friends and family and colleagues, but my mom and dad. Words can't express the depth of gratitude I have for what you've done for me. You were there, you took me to every practice, you were at every game, every moment of triumph, every moment of defeat. Your unconditional love and support have been my rock, helped me get through tough times and give me the confidence to pursue my dreams. And thank you for being my biggest cheerleaders, my guiding lights, my pillars of strength. This achievement is as much as yours as it is mine. And to my brother TJ, who's been my partner in crime, he's here tonight. He's been my partner in crime and my best friend forever. Together we faced challenges, we celebrated victories, and we've lifted each other up to new heights. To him, I want to say thank you for being by my side, for cheering me on, and for reminding me that family is the ultimate source of strength. And then to my coaches, my mentors, my teachers who've crossed my path, guys like Jeff Annis, John Howerton, Christian Agbodo, Jaime Ramirez, at Clark. I saw him earlier today, Coach George Chandler, Coach Vince Wesson. Thank you for your dedication to helping kids' lives, and thank you for believing in my potential, because the impact you had on me far extends the soccer field, and the lessons that you've taught me, I'm extremely grateful. And last, obviously, this one's important. Yeah. So give me a second here, George. I don't want to red card you right now.
Don't red card. I'll just kick it right here.
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. My lovely wife, Amy. My beautiful daughter, Stella. My studly son, Isaac. You three are my foundation. You're my motivation. You're my inspiration. And you're my three greatest joys. So thank you so much. Thank you to Clovis Unified. Thank you to George. And thank you to the community for continuing to lift me up all these years.
Well, Chad, it was only a matter of time. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Chad McCarty. Our next individual inductee is Stephen Tirapelli from Clovis High School.
Started wrestling much smaller than everybody else. As I got a little bigger and was closer to the weight class, I started to have some success. Wasn't a very good student, wasn't that interested in it, and wrestling kind of drugged me through. So I went to American River and placed in the JC State Championships there, and then went on to Humboldt and had no intent of graduating. Just wrestling did it. It kept me going in the right direction, and then all of a sudden I was there, the finish line. You just try to get the kids to believe that if you do certain things, you can have success. If you prepare, winning will take care of itself. We had quite a few young kids the first year I got here, and by the end of the year, there was more buy-in. By the second, third year, we were experiencing a lot more confidence and success. And then from then on, it's just mostly maintaining the same format. Prepare, get better, and we ended up having more consistent success.
He left no stone unturned, lending a hand, coaching, getting a rapport with the kids, and bringing that consistency that you want in a program. Definitely you could see the program rising to the expectation, and in just a very short period of time, winning a Valley in the state came very quickly.
We're not huge results people as far as, there's a lot more to it. And we're basically top 5 in the state every year. And then, I came back and we kind of implemented some of the things that I had learned from college as well, and I think that made it even better. And then we got on a pretty good run and won like 5 state championships in a row, and then only Troy's won since then.
Clovis High in the 70s, then early 90s had won 3, which is amazing, and even Calvary Chapel in the 90s won 3. But then they went on a streak, as my dad is the head coach with Adam kind of by his side, of winning 5 in a row. Like it just wasn't fathomable, like that you could sustain success for that long. Getting to the top is one thing, like holding it takes a lot more.
Success is really, I think, in my mind, evaluated in different ways. It's those kids that weren't quite as good, but they went on and were successful at the next level, or went on and got their degree, and that's, to me, is what we're trying to do here at the high school level. I think in all sports, you're teaching life skills, or you should be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do. Those are life skills. Those are things you're gonna carry on the rest of your life. And I've had many kids say that it was so much easier in real life just because of the things they learned from the wrestling experience.
Kids want to be held accountable. Kids want to have structure in their life, and they want somebody to believe in them. And Steve has never wavered on that, not with his own children and not with his own athletes.
I'm proud of our family's accomplishments in wrestling, in California wrestling. It's a very competitive state. They were very fortunate. They were in the finals 9 times. We won 8 times. That being said, I'm probably more proud of the fact that they're giving back, that they're helping other kids. You're only as good as the people around you. You need support. I was fortunate enough to have that with our administration. They were very supportive.
I look at it more of the immeasurable things of how many people you affected positively. That's where he's made the most impact, is what you can take from wrestling and apply it in your life.
A lot of people can be coaches. Not a lot of people can be head coaches. Even fewer can be really successful head coaches, because it's more about leadership. You know, it really is a family, a program. It deals well with parents.
He did it for kids. He's a true coach, and he's a better man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Stephen Tirapelli from Clovis High, escorted by girls wrestling state champion, also from Clovis High School, Leilani Lemus. Leilani's pretty good too, huh?
She's pretty good. Testing.
Yep.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's really good. So your career, amazing. So why do you think this district is such a special place?
The district offers a lot of opportunities to students. And to go back to Doc's, his charge all the time, it's about everything. It's not just the classroom. And he was very partisan to wrestling, because it attracted a different kid, a tougher kid, maybe kids that had difficulty in the classroom that didn't care. I was one of those kids. So I could identify with that. Wrestling kind of got me through college, got me into coaching, and I think it's a very beneficial thing as far as giving kids an opportunity to buy into something, to learn life skills that carry over throughout their life, in their marriages, in their financials, and everything that's going on, because you deal with anxiety. Constantly you deal with anxiety. And in my mind, wrestling is probably, there's as much anxiety as you could possibly get when you're the only one out there and you just lost and they raise the other guy's hand. So that's that, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and thank my wife. I got here because my wife wanted to come here. I didn't want to come here. I was happy where I was at in Hiram Johnson in Sacramento. I was with inner city kids. I liked it. They appreciated it. I had really turned the program around there. And she came down to the Doc Buchanan because we had 3 or 4 top-end kids, and we decided to send them to the Doc Buchanan and give them some exposure, see the highest levels of wrestling, and then I took the rest of the kids to another tournament. My brother came down with them. And when she returned home, she goes, "We're going to Clovis." And I go, "What are you talking about?" She says, "You've done your part here. We're moving to Clovis because it's more kid-oriented. They provide opportunities for kids." And I said at the time, "No, we're not moving to Clovis. I'm not moving to Clovis. I like where I'm at." And the person that she is, we moved to Clovis.
Hold on. Do we have an extra medal for Coach Tirapelli's wife back there?
She would need 3. So that's how I got here, and I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully we impacted a lot of people in a positive way and taught them life skills, and I think that's what Clovis is about.
Yeah. So what message would you give student athletes, coaches, about the importance of competing every single day, not only on the mat or whatever sport, but also in the classroom and in life in general?
Well, I'll reiterate that I was not the student because I didn't care. And wrestling towed me along. And it provides a lot of opportunities for other kids. Sport in general, I don't care what it is, if it's band, if it's orchestra, if it's whatever. There's a kid can put a uniform on, buy into, and feel like they're part of something and they're important, and they learn to deal with other people. You don't get that in curriculum. You don't deal with your peers where you're counting on them to pull their weight or they're counting on you to pull your weight. And those are lifelong lessons that I think you carry on, and it turns you into a contributor in society where you go out and you can maintain a job and carry it and work with maybe an employer that you don't care for, but you realize, hey, I got to get this done. I got to pay the bills. You deal with anxiety at home. We got to get this done. We got kids, they're counting on us. So sports, activities in general, are every bit as important as calculus. I'm sitting there thinking, how many kids at Clovis High are taking calculus and it impacted their lives? We got 3,000 kids going there. We don't have that many taking calculus. And the rest
With
of them
all due respect to the calculus,
the rest of them have to survive. They have to go on and have families and do great things, and that's where activities and sports comes into play.
Now, who else would you like to thank who's here tonight with you?
Well, I'd probably like to thank my daughter, who's not here because she's at a wedding. It was more important. I was supposed to be there too.
Oh, well.
And my two sons, or three sons, my oldest son, but they all contributed to other kids. They gave back. I think that's what I would tell people. Give back. If you can give back, pass it on. That's very important. I'd really like to thank Gabe Schaefer for allowing me the opportunity to continue on and assist in any way that I can. I'd like to thank the kids for showing up and, going crazy. Not that they needed to. I'd really like to thank Steve France, who put on this shindig, and Matt McCullovich and Jeanette Garcia. I mean, they put a lot of work into this, and it's a fabulous event for all the people involved and all the people that were fortunate enough to be part of it. You've done a lot for people. You've done a lot for kids, and it's a great thing. And we need to see this continue on, and the district needs to continue on trying to get the best people possible to keep the things going, the opportunities for kids. That's my 2 cents on that.
I think it's worth more than 2 cents. Coach, congratulations on an outstanding career, a hell of a career, and welcome to the Hall of Fame. Stephen Tirapelli.
Thank you.
I wasn't very good at calculus either. But our next individual inductee from Buchanan High School, Jason Donald.
As a kid, I played everything, football, basketball, baseball, soccer. I ran, track and cross country.
In the summertime when kids are watching movies or playing video games, we're hitting ground balls and throwing batting practice to each other, and you're pushing each other to do better, to get more out of yourself. And I felt like that was the start of our friendship.
I loved taking batting practice. I loved taking tee work. I loved taking ground balls. My goal was to be, a Major League Baseball player.
There's no doubt in my mind that if baseball had not been in the cards, he could have been a Division I college football player. He was a winner in every way, but the real test of a great athlete is he made the people around him better too. And you know, Jason, I think his senior year, he quarterbacked our football team to a 9-1 regular season record. And knowing full well that baseball season was on the horizon and he would be drafted and recruited and those kind of things.
Played well, you know, the summer leading up to my senior year. That's the time when schools start to see you and, you know, they want to come into your home and meet with you and see what your signability is.
Jason wrote a letter and said, I'm not interested in being drafted. He was still drafted, but he was drafted later on in the rounds. And he made his commitment to go to University of Arizona. It was a great decision for him.
But when they start talking some serious numbers, it kind of makes you pause and go, well, should I be considering professional baseball? I needed to go to college. Coach Lopez said, you know, when he was recruiting me, like every recruiting class I've had has gone to the College World Series. At least once in their 4 years. Sure enough, my freshman year, we went to the College World Series. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm actually playing on ESPN, Rosenblatt Stadium in the College World Series. So that was pretty cool. Got drafted by the Phillies at my second full season when I was in AA. Reading is when I got chosen for the Olympic team.
We were so proud and so excited for him. Just the thought of your child being in the Olympics, like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
About halfway through, it was dicey if we were going to get into the medal round because we were like 1 and 2. I'll never forget Terry Tiffey standing up in the dugout. I came here to win a medal. I don't know what you guys got to do. You got to figure it out. And from that point on, we started to roll. And we faced Japan in the bronze medal game. So that was an incredible experience. Going through the dugout and then heading out to the left field line. I remember looking over and seeing, you know, like 3 or 4, like 9, 10-year-old kids. I remember being those kids, you know, and now I'm here. Yeah, it was, just thought back to when, you know, all the swings I'd taken in the cage, like in high school and college, and, you know, the struggles through the minor leagues, you know, as difficult and as hard as those times are, it was worth it, because nobody can ever take it away from you. For my first at bat, I remember saying, like, I'm gonna come out of my shoes. Like, I'm swinging, hit a line drive back up the middle for my first big league hit.
Born in Clovis, California, there's a base hit to start his major league career. Yeah, David
And he gets into one well here. Pierre looking up, and it is gone. Jason Donald with his first major league home run.
And that is sliced and caught on a leap by Donald at third. Let's see if there's room for Donald, and he reaches into the crowd.
Donald on the run, racing hard into the bullpen, makes a catch. Donald with a great dive from his knees, throws, got him. Bouncing ball up the middle, great stop by Donald. Flip to second for the force out there. And a high drive, it's out of here. Jason Donald with a 2-run homer to left.
I remember about in like the 7th inning, kind of doing the math. If this continues, I'll be the last out. And, or, you know, the guy that breaks it up. But I remember first pitch, 5-6 inches off the plate, strike one. I don't want to go down striking out. Like, hit it to the right side. It's a race between me and him to the bag. That's it. You know, as I was about to hit the bag, I see him catch the ball. I'm like, dang it, he did it.
We'll cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe.
Sandy Alomar Jr. was our first base coach. Look at him, he's like, you were out, bro. And I was like, I know.
Oh my goodness.
We relive that moment over and over again. But we'll never let it go. I think he embodies everything that the Clovis Unified School District taught us growing up. He got it done in high school, college, professionally.
There's a lot of very, very talented athletes that cannot be successes as professionals because they don't have that makeup. Jason has it.
From the time he was a child until now, as a grown man, he is respectful and kind, absolutely intense. I just look at him as such a great man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Jason Donald from Buchanan High School, escorted by girls cross country CIF section champion, also from Buchanan, Kinsley Buckley. Called me sir. Oh, it makes you feel old when you're called sir.
Okay, full disclosure, the power of editing.
Yeah.
My first major league hit, they said, it shows me like, I'm gonna come out of my shoes, and it sounds really easy. Well, David Price throwing like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so, I said, I'm gonna come out of my shoes, unless it's over my head, I'm swinging. And the guy decides to go like combio changeup, 88 miles an hour, and I could have swung 8 times before the ball crossed the plate. So, it looks good on the video, but I missed it by 85 feet, I swear.
I love it when the interview just handles itself. Maybe I have to ask
Sorry.
the question.
I'll let you do your. I'll
Throw
let
that
you do your
away.
thing there.
Have you talked to Armando Galarraga since that perfect game fiasco when you were out? And all that?
We ended up playing on the same. We were both in AAA with the Reds like 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, 4 years later.
Yeah.
He didn't want to talk about it. I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up. I didn't. A couple guys would like joke in the clubhouse and stuff, but he wasn't. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't have the best sense of humor. And he didn't find it funny, I don't think.
No,
so.
it's not funny.
He got like two free cars out of it. So
the
he's
umpire
fine.
Jim Joyce got a lot of flack for that too.
Yep.
That was too bad. But what does this mean? This night, this honor, this achievement to cap your career in the district?
Man, it's so it's difficult to put into words because I grew up in the district, and so when I was a kid, I promise I only get emotional once during all my speeches. I grew up on a practice field, football practice, baseball practice fields. Like I didn't have babysitters, it was practice all the time. So my entire, childhood, it was, by the time I got to Buchanan, it was like extremely personal. It's like, this is something I've done since I'm a little boy. I was thinking, I loved it, so, sorry, excuse me. Coach Vogt and Coach Funk, God bless you guys. You had to put up with me as like an 8-year-old, thinking I was like 19 going out to practice, and I'd go like full pads out to practice. And I was like 9 trying to get in Okie drills with, and Mox was like, okay, just step to the side. Thanks, Mox, for protecting me. But, so this is just, this is a really, I'm thankful, very thankful.
Did you ever get your home run ball back? Your first big league home?
Yes, you know what? I think, we gave the guy, I think the Indians gave the guy like lifetime hot dogs or something, and so that's what got the ball back. It's pretty.
Well, those are
pretty
like $8.
Pretty simple living in Cleveland. So yeah, but no, I really am humbled to be here, and this is just, it's a cool thing.
So what are you doing now?
Well, I'm 5 years in. Well, when I got done playing, I literally had no clue what people did for jobs. Like honestly, I knew like teachers, doctors, lawyers, and I'm like, I'm none of those, and so. I went to work for my agent, Scott Boris, after I got done playing, and then I needed more, and so I literally started calling people, like, hey, what do you do for a job? What do you do for a job? And so my human trafficker, he's here somewhere, Chris Campson, I went to some meetings with him and had no clue. So I sell packaging sales, boxes, bags, like we work with ag, like heavy and ag and packing sheds and stuff, so. Yep. I literally had no clue what I was sitting in watching. I think I had like a mullet, a beard. I was wearing Wranglers.
What?
The shirt was untucked. I thought people were like, who tucks in their shirt to jeans? Now I cannot not tuck my shirt into jeans. It's
drinking
incredible.
moonshine too?
No, I know. And So yeah, so I got locked in on that, and it's an absolute grind and a hustle, and I love it.
When you go back to the stadium, you're in the video looking at the field, what do you see? What do you flash back to when you look on that field?
A lot of good, great memories. I think of like Dominic Foster here, like Dom and I took a billion swings, you know, in those cages, along with, you know, Brett Pareto, my other, you know, best friend, can't be here, and even Sedoin would come over from Clovis West. We'd make him hop the fence, but you know, we didn't let him just walk in the gate. But I think a lot of work. You know, I think it's what it takes, really. I mean, there is no replacement for just effort. And I think, you know, growing up in Clovis, it's a blue collar mentality. It's you eat what you earn, and I think, you know, I certainly put in my work and put in my time, and yeah, I see a lot of great memories and, you know, disappointment as well. You know, I remember my sophomore year, you know, Coach P comes in, congratulations, you're Hall of Fame. I'm glad we could be one of your 10, or 3 of your 10, or 5, who knows how many. But, you know, my sophomore year, we were like number 3 in the country, and, you know, they really had no business beating us. And, I mean, they played, really, if you go pound for pound, some of the guys we had, and they beat us. So just a lot of great memories. And, you know, the time my senior year, when I was getting a lot of draft attention, you know, pressure, and I remember, you know, 25 grown men literally standing in front of me as I was like taking T work, you know, and not saying a word to you, and you're like 17, 18, like, what do you guys think? Like, you think I'm any good? You know, I don't know. So it's, yeah, thankful to be a part of that school, and you know, all the men that I grew up with, you know, like I mentioned, Coach Funk and Coach Vogt, but you know, like Randy Blankenship was a huge influence on me as a kid. You know, we were neighbors, and you know, I literally wanted to be McKay Christensen. Like I said, I'm gonna be him. I wore number 22. You know, I wanted to be the 4-back and run the 48-hour jack just like him. So yeah, I just really thankful for, you know, seeing some of the old coaches come back, and you know, it really is, it's humbling, because if they could go back, you know, through the eyes of my childhood, you know, they could have easily just said, okay, we've got stuff to do, get out of the way, you know. But like, they let me do it in a safe manner. They didn't just throw me into the wolves, but they let me stick my nose in there, and it just got me ready, got me prepared.
Well, you mentioned Sedoin, Prieto, your mom's in the video, Coach Vogt. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank?
Well, my lovely wife, Jenna, I love you. My kids, Major, Leland, Jacoby, and Easton. You know, there are a few families I'd like to thank, but I'd like to, you know, my wife and my mom. Mom, I love you, 2 of my most important women in my life. Along with you, Leland, sweetheart. I remember towards the end, you know, baseball it's difficult. It's a hard life, and it's a grind. You know, it's mentally grinding, physically grinding. And I remember after Jen and I got married, or we were engaged and about to be married, I was not going good. I was hurt and not playing well. And I said, if we have boys one day, I said, they are not playing this game. I'm not going to subject them to this. And sure enough, Major, my oldest, literally comes out of the womb like leg kicking with a freaking bat waggle. So, you know, yeah, so thank you, honey. You know, my in-laws, they mean a lot to me, and I love you guys. And in particular, like, you know, Jeff Pareto's here. You know, his family, Brett, his 3rd brother, you know, was my other best friend, and the Paretos, I was extremely close to them. I took a billion swings in their cage with the Iron Mike. You know, the Sedoin family, Richard and Anna, Jason's parents, like literally my successes were their successes. And same thing for Jay. I mean, Jay was
your guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was literally been to every city that I've played in, I think, like as a home thing. And, you know, I might have sucked, but he thought I was sweet, and that's all I needed, you know? So, yeah, I think, you know, those people, the Raimundo family, and you know, GJ, I knew him as GJ, and now he's professional, he's Greg. But, you know, I knew him. He was the shortstop at Buchanan when I was a little boy. And, you know, just he's been such a significant influence in my life since my childhood. So, and I'm sorry if there's so many people I want to mention and thank, so please do not snipe me as I'm going into Save Mart one day. But just know, if you're here, you know, you mean a lot to me, and I appreciate it.
Well, it was an honor to do one more final interview with you, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jason.
Thanks, George.
You're welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Jason
Appreciate it.
Donald. Our last individual inductee is Elise Kragoff from Buchanan High School, but unfortunately, Elise cannot be part of the ceremony this evening, but we wanted to recognize her for being inducted into the Clovis Unified Athletic Hall of Fame. So let's give Elise a round of applause. One of our two team inductees are the 1974, 75, 76, and 78 Clovis High School girls tennis teams.
The only racket club in our area was down at the very south side, and that was at Sunnyside Racket Club. And during that era, Bullard was kind of the big tennis powerhouse because most of those kids lived near Fig Garden and took lessons there. But other than that, it was all homegrown.
It was a matter of pride. We wanted to be better than those other schools we were playing.
And we got support not just from the coaches, but from the administration.
Ramage was the coach then for us. He was our first coach that we had.
He was just a great motivator.
Yeah, he pushed us. We weren't always maybe the most skilled team, but we were the best conditioned. No one was going to be better conditioned than us.
We ran and ran and ran.
We had to run sprints against the boys team, and one player had to beat one of the boys for us to be able to stop.
Dick was self-taught as far as a coach, but he was a huge motivator. He made you believe in yourself. And so between being the best conditioned team and having the coach that had the most confidence in you, I think that was a huge advantage.
I mean, this was drilled into us. We are winners. He just made us feel like we could do whatever we wanted to.
I think a lot of positive reinforcement. Yeah, gave us a lot of positive reinforcement.
And he cared. He really did care
He
about
did
us.
care. Every person on the team.
Whether you were the number one player or the bottom player, he didn't care. His support was there, and he treated everyone the same.
In those days, girls and boys tennis played at the same time. So we got to kind of see how Coach worked with different players and really good players and players like us that were just starting out and developing. But he was an exceptional person who understood people and how to get people to do more and to want to be out there when it's so hot and it's so dry and everything else, to just want to keep coming out and playing and making it a part of your life.
He knew we could do it, even though sometimes we might be able to think we could do it, but he knew we could.
Yeah.
So that gave us the confidence to get out there and get it done.
We won the league, so that might have been the first year Bullard got beat. So that's what we'll lay claim to.
Well, instead of playing like best out of 2 out of 3 or something, it's an 8-game pro set. And so we were playing first 1 to 8, games 1. And so we were down 7-4, love 40, and then we were down 7-5, love 40, and then we were down 7-6, love 40.
Terry and Candy,
Yeah.
these two pulled it out for us.
Well,
we were tied for the
We were the
Valley.
last ones to play, so everybody was watching us.
And it was tight.
And whoever won that match won the Valley.
But you physically saw those gals that were up for Lemoore, their demeanor start to change.
They were already partying. They were ready to go out and have a good time. And it's like, we're not gonna let this happen yet. I just kept thinking, we're not gonna choke. We're not gonna choke. We gotta pull this out. And then we ended up.
We beat them.
You played a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
7-all.
And both
7-all.
teams and coaches and everyone were standing there.
And that was incredible.
When we came in as young tennis players and 1979 to Clovis High as freshmen, we already had heard the girls' tennis teams were really good and had won league championships and valley championships. They were on the wall in the gym, and the boys weren't up there for a valley championship. And so they gave us a little bit of a target. Why couldn't we do it? I think these teams help set a true standard for the possibility of what hard work and having fun and what commitment to a team and commitment to a school really meant.
I remember asking teachers and my dad and other coaches, like, it's so competitive. Their answer was, when you get out in the workforce, it's competitive. So we're teaching you now how to succeed as an adult. I went on to teach and coach at the junior high Clark, and I took my philosophy and what I learned here over there with me, tried to help the students succeed and let them know I cared and supported them. You know, you just kind of, what you learn is kind of what you do. So I took that with me, and it really helped out.
And I just learned that I may not always be the most skilled, but I knew I'd outwork everyone.
And you have to have the discipline to keep your goals and work towards your goals. And I think that was all that what they taught and instilled in us.
And I think working well with others.
The group, the team
We worked well
effort.
with others. But he brought us together, and he made us passionate about the game of tennis. Ramage did that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame team inductees, the 1974, 75, 76, and 78 Clovis High School girls tennis teams, escorted by Boys Tennis Player of the Year from Clovis West, Kyler Williams. Okay, we're gonna go, another round of applause. We're gonna go right down the line, just to say your name and the year that you played on the team.
Shelley Nunn, 1978 Valley Champs.
Teresa King Hopkins, 1978 Valley Champs.
Candy Lopez Foster, 78 Valley Champs.
Marcia Harrington, 78 Valley Champs.
74, 75, 76 NYL. Susie Garza Rios.
Linda Lomeyer Perez, 1975 and 76.
Patty Donlevy Gatilla, 1975.
Debbie Smith Becker, 1974.
Jody Peterson Solinsky, 1974.
Linda Williams Nolte, 1974.
Denise Senol Ruby, 1974 and 75.
Liz Farrow Allen, 1974, 1975, and 1976. Karen Jackson Aloisi, 1974, 1975, 1976.
Lynn Hargis McDonald, 1974, 75, and 76.
Colette Zinnel Kirsty, 1978 Valley Champs.
Terry Lomeyer Ireland, 1978 Valley Champs. Cindy Duke Moranda, 1978 Valley Champs.
Leslie Cox, 1978 Valley Champs.
Show of hands, how many of you play pickleball now? Yeah. See you on the court. I love it. So this was
Okay, just a second.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Before
I'll
we
just be
get
right
started, I just have something to say. You guys have been sitting a long time, and I'm a retired PE teacher. If you want to stand up, let's take 30 seconds, stand
Okay,
up,
let's do
give
that.
it a stretch. Come on, don't be shy. Stand yourselves up,
First
reach
time we've
down,
ever done this.
grab your ankles or toes, stretch it out, don't be shy. I know I was sitting there going, okay, man, I gotta move. All right,
Thank you.
about 10 seconds left. 9, 8. All right, good job, good job. We gotta make it happen. We are not a glum lot. All right, here we go, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you, Leslie. We've reached the halfway point. Just kidding. What does it mean to be part of this, to be part of Clovis Unified history, and to relive some great memories?
It's awesome for us to be up here tonight. We appreciate Clovis Unified honoring us. And as far as the tennis team goes, 1974, 1975, and 1976 won the league championship, and they beat that town across team, Bullard. And those girls played at clubs, they had private lessons, and we were still a little country school out in Clovis, and they said it couldn't be done, and they did it. So when we came out in 1978, our coach, who none of us could have won any championships without our dear coach, Dick Ramage, who pushed us, who believed in us, who spent so much time on and off the courts with us, making sure that we were well prepared. He ran us into the ground, got us up, and then ran us into the ground again. We could not have done it without him. We'll never forget that. And he gave us life lessons that we went on to learn and to be successful. But when we came in at 78, we had a legacy to uphold with those girls winning the NYL championships. And we won the NYL championship, and Ramage said, something special here. You guys can win the Valley. And then we became the first female girls team at Clovis High School ever to win a Valley championship. Give it up, give it up. Oh, and I want to say one more thing. Jody Peterson, please raise your hand. Jody Peterson, where are you, hon? Jody Peterson won the singles Valley championship in 1974. Congratulations, Jody.
This group probably doesn't have any good stories to tell at all. But can you think of one, maybe, that stands out? Something that has not yet been surfaced to the general public, something fun?
Who wants the mic? Where's Candy? You know, us getting back together, just us getting back together and being able to see one another again and reminiscing about all the things that we did on and off the courts, whether it was all the slumber parties that we had together, all the times we got in the trunk of the car, the times that we went and cruised Belmont with some beverages. We always...
Pepsi, 7-Up,
Pepsis, Diet Coke.
Kool-Aid, Sunny D.
You know, and it wasn't just, we were teammates. We were best friends. And we supported each other on and off the courts. And I think that's what made all of us such great players. And Ramage, when your team, when you were finished, you didn't leave that match until the entire match was finished. And we didn't want to leave because we wanted to support each other. And I think that's what made us have the winning tradition that we had in the 1970s. Oh, and we've had a couple gatherings already before and after these events. We have a group text. We're planning trips together, whether some of them like it or not. So, yeah, this is a great time for us right now.
Where are you guys going after this tonight?
Well, they met this afternoon at the field house. I couldn't make it.
Great place.
My sister-in-law had to do my hair.
Might see you there tonight. So, why was Clovis High such a special place?
Wow. Well, it's the traditions, it's the honor, it's the integrity. When Dr. Buchanan started Clovis High was the first high school, as we all know, and to us, it's the original. He gave us the best facilities out of any schools that had already been built for years. And he hired the best teachers and the best administrators, if you guys have seen here from the coaches that have been up here prior to me. And they set the bar, along with our coach, Dick Ramage, so high, and they gave us standards and goals to achieve. And we were able to achieve those goals because those coaches and those teachers encouraged us and stood by us throughout our time at Clovis High. And once a Cougar, always a Cougar. We'll never forget that. So by them encouraging us
and standing with us step by step. I think that makes Clovis a special place, and we always had the best facilities. And Doc Buchanan, I'll never forget him saying, "Sick 'em, girls, go get 'em."
I love it. Ladies, welcome to the Hall of Fame and congratulations, and continue to bring back those memories when you guys keep hanging out. Congratulations, Cougars. That's a fun group. Our next team inductees, the 1991 Clovis High School football team.
You could tell that there was magic in the air. I could tell from the beginning we had something special. So there was never a doubt. There really wasn't.
You can kind of see a team develop a personality while they develop not just strength, but confidence and aggressiveness.
The player's motto was really 13-0 Valley Bound. It was written on the ankle tape, the cleats tape. Coach Simons always emphasized doing the little things right. In fact, we had a poster in the locker room all year with do little things right.
I was so fortunate. I had a coaching staff of coaches that were with me for a long time. Before that, we were able to do a 2-platoon system. That was another element that gave us an edge.
Well, the Cougar pride, the extra calisthenics, we were really well conditioned, probably better conditioned than any other team in the league.
Practices were so detailed. Everything was so precise.
We were hard on each other, but also supportive. We were taking things serious, and we knew there was something special going on.
We made a decision to take one of our best defensive players, Jason Sasoyev, and make him a quarterback. That turned out to be a good decision.
He was all Valley inside linebacker as a junior. He was standing there with a bag full of balls underneath the basketball courts while I was taking roll, and he was throwing the ball across all the way to the other court and making baskets. And walked up to Coach Simons and said, I think I found our quarterback.
We had all the ingredients necessary, really, to have a good offensive team. If we could come together and make it work, and we did.
Every position was solid. We put up a ton of goose eggs that year on defense, and then offense was just killing it.
Clovis West was a really good team. State-of-the-art wing tee offense that was new for us. We had a hard time stopping them. And late in the game, we tied it up, and the game was over, tied. At that time, the officials believed that meant co-championship. This is Valley Final. So they were walking off the field.
I thought for sure that we'd go into a tiebreaker. I had no second thoughts about it. I mean, you got to have a champion. It can't end in a tie.
People standing room only all around. Where it started this chant, let them play. Let them play.
Let them play. The whole stands were just
This
cheering.
place erupted.
12,000 people are on their feet saying, let them play, let them play. They want a winner.
So we did the California tiebreaker is what they called it, right?
There's the flip. Looks like the Cougars have won the flip. They're going to want to take the ball last.
They punched it in 3 plays. 3 plays.
McKay in motion. Lopez got a touchdown.
27-21, Clovis West, right? So they line up to kick a PAT. And I watched Figueroa, and he was down in a sprinter stance, and he was going to make the play happen.
Penalty flags down.
Blocked and it's no good.
He took off, perfect time, gave it everything he had, caught it by a fingertip, and shanked it enough to where it didn't go through the upright. So that was huge. We get the ball. We ran a counter a lot, a counter play to our tailback, our halfback, Kelly Larson, and Clovis West had seen that 45 million times, and they practiced against it.
We ran a play that we had not ever run. We'd ran it by mistake in practice and thought, hey, that's a good variation. And it ended up being faking a fly sweep to Keith Poole and Jason Sissoyev himself running the ball on the counter.
Touchdown! They're a point away from the Valley Championship.
But now we had to make our PAT. J.C. Cordero, our kicker, went out there.
The burden falls on the shoulders of number 45, Jason Cordero.
We get lined up, then all of a sudden, the classic play, Clovis West calls timeout. Everyone goes running off, but Metzler and I stayed together. Face mask to face mask, holding hands. I don't think one word was said. You know, I'm sitting here, I look at the uprights, I look back down, and then as soon as I nod, Fig knows to go, and then we don't look at each other. He's looking up at me, I nod. As soon as I start seeing ball of flight, I start my movement. And it's that clockwork. Didn't really think, it's more let's just strike the ball right. And hit the ball, and it went up good.
Cougars win it. Oh my God. Clovis 13-0, 1991 Valley champions.
The local media reporter said this was the greatest high school football game in over 100-year history of San Joaquin Valley football. And I agreed with him. Not easy to go undefeated, and it certainly wasn't, but that's how it ended in that moment.
There was many times throughout the season where it was just spectacular things that kids pulled off.
It's fantastic. It's great to be a part of it and really sense community.
So thankful to be in that place in that time to experience it, 'cause it really was amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame team inductees, the 1991 Clovis High School football team led by head coach Tim Simons, escorted by girls swim and dive CIF section champion from Clovis West, Hannah Marinovich. Okay, gentlemen, we're going to go name, number, and position. Starting right here.
Mike Metzler, number 4, tight end.
J.C. Cordero, outside backer, tight end.
Jason Pachara, center, number 56.
Danny Giannone, number 7, wide receiver.
Derek Fermisco, number 11, receiver.
Jason Adair, number 64, played right guard.
Mike White, 48, linebacker.
Ryan Blankenship, number 66, first string dummy defense.
Darren Van Doren, 36, strong safety.
Jack Erdman, defensive back coach.
Tim Simons, head football coach.
Well, Coach Simons, you're being inducted for like the 5th time in this Hall of Fame. That was so much fun to watch again. How often do you think about that game specifically?
Well, it comes across my mind, of course, in recent weeks a lot, but it was such a memorable moment in my life and career that it does come across the mind.
They said back then that it was one of the best games ever in Central Section history. Do you still think, up to now, that that still stands as one of the best games, if not the best, in Central Section history?
Well, I might be a little biased, but I think it was the best.
The best. How did that undefeated championship team set the stage for the rest of the district's success in football?
Well, you know, at that time, we were a relatively young school district. And we only had 2 high schools. And here we were with those 2 schools playing for the Valley Championship in our stadium, which was a tremendously great high school football stadium. And then before a roaring crowd in this, you know, a tremendous scenario, overtime victory, and I think it further strengthened the reputation that our district was earning for achieving excellence. You know, now we have 5 high schools, all of them with great successes in academics and athletics. We have another great stadium in our school district, many other tremendous facilities. And of course, all that was part of Doc's vision and idea of how to create a great school district, and he did. He created the best one ever.
That overtime touchdown, the play you had never called, or at least didn't in a while, when did you start thinking about calling that play?
George, I can't remember that. But I do think we filmed our practices back in those days, and I remember seeing that in our practice film and thinking, hey, this might be a good variation. But we didn't bring it into the game as one of our main plays. But at that time, somehow it came across our mind, let's do it now.
And finally, what does it mean to you personally to see these gentlemen get inducted into the Hall of Fame for this team and their success?
Well, it's a great feeling for me. I know it's special for them to come here and see their teammates. Some of them they haven't seen for a long time. It was a special season. And you know, the game, that final game, you know, it's, I would still today, it would be considered one of the, you know, the greatest games in Central Valley football history. I know for sure that those 3 words, let them play, is the most famous phrase in Clovis High School football history.
You should put that on a t-shirt if you haven't already. Coach, congratulations. Gentlemen, congratulations. It's so great to see those highlights again. Welcome into the Hall of Fame, and welcome into the Hall of Fame again, Coach Simons, the 1991 Clovis High football team. I love it. Let them play. So as these gentlemen step off the stage, we would like to thank everyone that was involved in making this event a reality. It took a vision and then people to implement the vision. It takes a long time to plan and prepare. Steering committee members, selection committee members, event coordinators, and the community, of course, in getting this off the ground 7 years ago. So thank you for your commitment to the Clovis Unified School District. Tremendous community support. I'd like to thank Ellipsis Productions for the videos, a great partner for our event, so Dave Wilkins, give him a round of applause and his team. Everyone at Pro Screen, Tim Leary, Jenna Dykstra, Shannon Ulrich for the banners, the Crystal Awards, beautiful, the medals, and for making this a first-class event. Thank you, Pro Screen, really appreciate you. In the crowd, Bob Barnett, our Central Section historian who I've leaned on so many years. Clovis Unified and the section owe you many thanks, wealth of knowledge, and we thank you for your support with our event. We asked Bob before the event tonight, he's like, all the numbers, all the stats accurate? He's like, they're perfect because you did it. And so thank you, Bob. We appreciate you. We'd also like to thank our section championship student athletes for their support in escorting our inductees. They've done a great job. We're very proud of them. So we're going to welcome them back to the stage. Our section champion student athletes and players of the year, starting with Hannah Marinovich from Clovis West, girls swimming, CIF section champion. Also from Clovis West, Kyler Williams, boys tennis, the track player of the year. From Clovis North, Jordan Espinoza, boys basketball, the track co-player of the year. From Clovis North, Finn McCall, boys golf, track golfer of the year. Claire Minton from Clovis High, girls water polo, the track outstanding performer of the year. Representing Clovis High School, Leilani Lemus, girls wrestling, CIF state champion. From Buchanan, Kinsley Buckley, cross country, CIF section champion. And from Clovis East, Isabella Gonzalez, girls wrestling, CIF state champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Clovis Unified's CIF section and state champion student athletes and players of the year. and future Hall of Famers possible. We have one more surprise for all of you, so will you now take one final look at the screen for a snapshot of this evening and some special words from our founding superintendent.
We believe in high standards in Clovis schools. We believe competition is an ingredient of high standards and important motivation. Kids that can't learn to compete in a group are going to have trouble in public school. Now, competition doesn't start with schooling. Competition starts with little kids just wanting to play. They want to catch a ball or kick a ball. We teach our kids what to do when they lose. We want them to get off their duffs and get back in the fight. Don't you let them give up. And if we can teach them not to be quitters by the time they finish the 12th grade in the Clovis Unified School District, they'll probably make it through life. If you want to develop winners, you got to surround them with winners. Don't ever forget our motto, sickle.
Those words are the words of our founding superintendent reading the ever-famous Doc's charge, which are the founding principles of this incredible district. So thank you, Doc, for everything that you did to set the bar high for our community. So please welcome back to the stage Clovis Unified School District's Athletic Hall of Fame inductees to receive their award and to be recognized one final time. Presenting the Hall of Fame award will be the superintendent of Clovis Unified School District, Dr. Corinne Fulmer, and assisting her is Clovis Unified School Board Vice President, Mr. Hugh Autry. Ladies and gentlemen, the Clovis Unified School District's Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Dr. Carlo Prandini. Jack Maddox. James Patrick. Chad McCarty. Stephen Tirapelli. Jason Donald. The 1974, 75, 76, and 78 Clovis High School girls tennis teams. And finally, the 1991 Clovis High School football team, led by head coach Tim Simons. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Clovis Unified School District Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. It's a lot of greatness on this stage. Thank you so much for sharing in their success. Congratulations to everyone, and good night. We'll see you next year for year number 8. Drive safe, everybody.